A queen never competes because competition is what insecure people do when they don't know their own value. A queen already knows who she is, what she brings, and that no one can replace her. The more a woman recognizes her worth, the less she feels the need to prove herself. She doesn't chase attention, she commands respect. She doesn't argue for a position, she embodies it. This isn't about arrogance, it's about quiet confidence and the power of self-control. The moment a woman stops comparing, stops competing, and starts focusing on her own lane, she becomes magnetic without trying. A queen's confidence comes from knowing her value, not needing validation. Confidence is not loud, dramatic, or attention-seeking. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable. When a woman truly understands her worth, she no longer waits for someone to tell her she is enough because she already knows she is. She does not sit around hoping people will notice her, appreciate her, or choose her. She realizes that anyone who fails to see her value is not someone she needs to chase. The less she needs approval, the more powerful she becomes. That is why real confidence is not about proving something to others. It is about proving something to yourself. She knows she is valuable even when she is ignored. She knows she is strong even when she is doubted. And she knows she is capable even when others underestimate her. The foundation of a queen is built on self-respect, self-awareness, and self-belief. Without those, anyone can be shaken. With them, nothing can move her. People lose their power the moment they start depending on validation. They begin adjusting their personality, their appearance, their behavior just to feel accepted. A queen does not do that. She does not shape herself to fit in. She stands as she is and lets the right people gravitate toward her. She does not need applause to feel worthy. She does not need attention to feel beautiful. She does not need someone to pick her to feel important. Validation becomes a bonus, not a requirement. Confidence becomes a mindset, not a performance. A woman becomes unstoppable when she realizes she has nothing to prove. The world tries to convince women that they must compete, compare, and fight for attention. But a queen understands that confidence destroys competition. When she stays grounded in who she is, she naturally stands out. Not because she is loud, but because she is rare. There is a different kind of peace that comes when you stop asking others for permission to feel valuable. You stop checking if people approve of your choices. You stop shrinking yourself to avoid judgment. You stop fearing rejection because rejection no longer defines you. The moment a woman decides her worth does not come from opinions, status, or attention, she becomes impossible to break. She may be criticized, but it will not change her. She may be compared, but she will not compete. She may be doubted, but she will not doubt herself. Confidence is protecting your energy instead of begging for acceptance. It is saying no without guilt, walking away without fear, and standing firm without apology. A queen does not chase validation because she trusts herself enough to be independent of it. She knows that people come and go, trends change, and attention is temporary. So she builds her confidence on something no one can take away. When she wakes up in the morning, she does not ask the world who she is. She tells the world who she is. There is strength in that. There is freedom in that. When a woman knows her worth, her aura changes. She speaks differently. She moves differently. She chooses differently. The more she believes in herself, the less she tolerates disrespect, inconsistency, or anyone who tries to make her feel small. She becomes selective, not insecure. Confident, not competitive, calm, not reactive. She lives from a place of certainty rather than seeking reassurance. And something powerful happens when confidence becomes internal instead of external. Opportunities find her, respect follows her. The right people value her, the wrong people leave her. She does not need validation because her life becomes the proof. A queen doesn't chase attention. She attracts it through presence and self-respect. There is a difference between wanting to be noticed and choosing to be seen. When a woman knows who she is, she does not run after people, approval, or attention because she understands that real attraction begins with self-respect. The way she carries herself speaks louder than anything she could say. She does not need to beg for someone's time, force herself into conversations, or try to impress anyone. The calm confidence in her presence makes people pay attention on their own. Attention that is chased never lasts, but attention that is earned through integrity and self-control becomes unforgettable. A queen does not try to convince people to like her. She simply becomes a woman worth noticing. She takes care of her energy, her peace, and her boundaries. That alone makes her stand out. When someone is constantly seeking attention, they lose themselves trying to be what others want. They exaggerate, they perform, they pretend, but a queen stays authentic. She knows that forcing attention is a sign of insecurity, not strength. Real attraction is natural. It comes from confidence, purpose, and the ability to stay true to yourself even when no one is watching. She does not measure her worth by how many people notice her. She measures it by how she treats herself. Because the way a woman treats herself teaches the world how to treat her. When she respects her voice, people listen. When she respects her time, people value it. When she respects her heart, people learn they must handle it carefully. The world pays attention to the women who pay attention to themselves. Self-respect is a magnet. It draws the right people and repels the wrong ones. There is something powerful about a woman who is selective with her attention instead of desperate for it. She does not entertain everyone. She does not allow everyone to access her mind, her feelings, or her life. She chooses who deserves her time, not the other way around. And that choice alone makes her rare. The more she respects herself, the less she needs validation. She becomes comfortable with being quiet, being different, being alone if necessary. She would rather be invisible than be seen for the wrong reasons. She would rather wait than settle. She would rather protect her dignity than compromise it for temporary attention. That mindset makes her magnetic. People are drawn to the woman who doesn't need them but chooses them. They are intrigued by her mystery, her discipline, her confidence. Her presence speaks without trying. She can walk into a room without saying a word and still be noticed because authenticity leaves a stronger impression than theatrics. It is not her noise that gets attention. It is her energy, calm but confident, kind but not naive, powerful but not loud. A queen knows that attention means nothing if it comes at the cost of her dignity. So she carries herself with grace, with standards, and with self-control. Even when others try to provoke her, she does not react to everything. She has nothing to prove. People pay attention to the woman who does not lose herself to protect her pride. And something else happens when she stops chasing attention. The right opportunities start finding her. The right people start gravitating toward her. Because attention that comes from authenticity is stronger than any spotlight created by pretending. She becomes the person others look at, not because she demanded it, but because she earned it by being genuine, confident, and self-respecting. A queen never lowers herself to compete for anyone's approval or love. When a woman truly understands who she is, she knows that love is not something she must fight for. Approval is not something she must earn by sacrificing her dignity. She has nothing to prove to anyone, because the right people will value her without being convinced. The moment a woman starts competing for someone's attention, she gives away her power. She starts questioning her worth, comparing herself to others, and believing she must become better than someone else just to be chosen. A queen refuses to enter that game. She does not see other women as threats. She sees them as individuals living their own stories. Comparing herself is pointless because her life, her journey, and her value are unique to her. When someone makes a woman feel like she has to compete, it is a sign they are not for her. A queen knows that if someone truly loves her, she will not have to fight for a place in their life. She will not have to chase them, impress them, or prove herself worthy. Love based on competition is insecure, temporary, and exhausting, but love built on respect is stable and effortless. So she walks away from anyone who makes her feel like she is not enough. She would rather stay alone than shrink herself to win someone else's attention. She does not see love as a trophy. She sees it as a partnership. If someone chooses another person over her, she lets them go. Her value does not decrease because someone else failed to see it. She does not beg to be someone's priority. She does not compete for someone's loyalty. She knows that what is meant for her will never require her to betray her dignity. Competing for love also destroys inner peace. It turns relationships into a battle instead of a bond. A queen protects her heart by refusing to enter that battle. She knows that a person who truly wants her will make it clear. They will show consistency, respect, and effort without making her doubt her place. And when a woman realizes she deserves that level of security, she stops settling for anything less. She chooses the kind of love where she feels safe, not the kind where she feels like she is constantly trying to win. Self-worth changes everything. When she knows her worth, she no longer fights for attention. She no longer asks why someone didn't choose her. She no longer sees rejection as a loss. She sees it as protection. She understands that losing someone who cannot see her value is not a loss at all. The world tries to convince women that they must compete for beauty, success, and relationships. But a queen sees beyond that. She knows that what belongs to her will find its way to her. She believes that her presence is enough. She trusts that her heart, her character, and her energy are powerful without having to be compared to anyone else. She does not want to win out of desperation. She wants to be chosen because she is respected. And that mindset separates her from the rest. A queen does not compete because she is already complete. And when a woman becomes complete within herself, she becomes impossible to replace. A queen leads her life with standards, boundaries, and self-discipline. She does not live by impulse, pressure, or emotion. She lives by intention. Standards protect her from accepting less than she deserves. Boundaries protect her from people who try to take advantage of her. Self-discipline protects her from becoming her own enemy. When a woman has standards, she is not difficult. She is clear. She knows what she will accept and what she will never tolerate. She does not entertain disrespect, inconsistency, or excuses. She understands that people treat her based on what she allows, so she refuses to negotiate her value. She is willing to walk away from situations that insult her dignity, even if it hurts, because the pain of leaving is still better than the pain of staying somewhere she is not respected. Her standards are not about arrogance. They are about self-worth. Boundaries are her armor. She gives her time, energy, and heart carefully. Not everyone gets access to her, and that is what makes her powerful. She does not over-explain herself, she does not try to please everyone, and she does not feel guilty for protecting her peace. When someone tries to cross a line, she does not argue or beg for change. She enforces the boundary and moves accordingly. Some people call that cold, but it is actually self-respect. She knows that without boundaries, the wrong people will drain her, distract her, and break her. She has learned that not everyone deserves a front row seat to her life. Some only deserve distance. Self-discipline is the quiet strength behind her success. She controls her reactions instead of reacting to everything. She controls her emotions instead of letting them control her. She does what is right even when it is difficult. She stays focused even when tempted to give up. Queens are not born disciplined, they build it. They train themselves to choose growth over comfort and purpose over distraction. That is why she does not waste time trying to prove herself to others. She invests that energy into becoming better. She works on her mind, her habits, her goals, and her peace. With discipline, she does not need motivation every day because habits carry her when feelings fade. She shows up for herself even on days when no one is watching. A queen's standards are the filter that protects her life. Her boundaries are the gates that protect her heart. Her discipline is the foundation that protects her future. And when a woman lives with all three, she becomes unstoppable. People may call her too strict, too distant, or too confident, but she does not break herself to please others. She knows that those who truly value her will respect her standards instead of trying to lower them. They will respect her boundaries instead of trying to cross them. They will respect her discipline instead of trying to distract her. She wants quality, not chaos. She wants peace, not drama. She wants purpose, not popularity. When she holds herself to a higher standard, she naturally attracts better. She does not have to chase opportunities or relationships because her life becomes a filter that weeds out everything that is not aligned. And if something or someone leaves because she refuses to lower her standards, she lets it leave. She knows that anything she loses by choosing self-respect was never meant for her. A queen wins silently because her growth, peace, and results speak for her. She does not need to announce every move she makes or broadcast every accomplishment. She understands that real strength doesn't need an audience. She invests her time into improving her life instead of convincing others she is improving. While others seek validation online, she is busy working on her goals offline. Success built quietly lasts longer because it is not dependent on applause. A queen knows that noise attracts attention, but consistency earns respect. She chooses progress over performance and self-mastery over public approval. When she wins, she does not rub it in anyone's face. She simply lives her life in a way that makes people notice the change without her having to say a word. Peace is one of the greatest forms of success. A queen protects her peace because she has learned that chaos is expensive. Every argument, every distraction, every unnecessary relationship takes something from her. She chooses silence over drama, distance over disrespect, and growth over gossip. There is strength in walking away instead of proving a point. Silence is not weakness, it is emotional maturity. When she stops responding to negativity, she takes back her power. When she refuses to react, she becomes unpredictable. When she no longer explains herself to people committed to misunderstanding her, she becomes untouchable. Her peace becomes her crown, and keeping it becomes a daily choice. Growth is her quiet rebellion. She understands that becoming better is the best response to anything that tried to break her. She works on herself in private so that her life shines in public. She does not need to expose her plans because she trusts her process. Every lesson she learns, every boundary she sets, every habit she builds becomes part of her transformation. Those who once doubted her begin to notice, not because she told them, but because her life changed. Growth is the kind of success no one can take away. It is not about being perfect. It is about becoming stronger, wiser, and more confident with each step. Her results speak the loudest. People who once overlooked her begin to see what she is capable of. People who disrespected her begin to realize they lost access to someone valuable. People who doubted her realize they misjudged her, and she does not need to say a thing. Winning silently means she no longer wastes energy proving anything. She lets her accomplishments do the talking. She understands that when the right things start happening in her life, the wrong people fall away on their own. Success reveals everything. A queen focuses on her journey, not competition. She does not look around to see who is watching because she is too focused on what she is becoming. She understands that privacy protects progress. Not every dream needs an audience. Not every struggle needs a witness. Not every achievement needs celebration from others. She finds fulfillment in the process, not just the recognition. And when she does reach her goals, she is grateful, grounded, and ready for more. That is why her results are real. They are built on patience, discipline, humility, and consistency. Winning silently is also about self-control. She does not react to jealousy, gossip, or envy. She lets people talk because she knows talk changes nothing. She continues growing, healing, and improving until her life becomes undeniable. And when that happens, she does not need applause, permission, or validation. Her life becomes the proof